Good morning, friends. Let's be honest for a moment. At 58, standing too long in this kitchen, well, it used to make my hips ache and my heart feel heavy. For years, I would stand right here, looking at the grease on these cabinets. It wasn't just dirt. Those were the remnants of decades of family meals, holiday turkeys, and hurried breakfasts. But instead of seeing memories, I only saw a stubborn reminder of how tired I had become. It felt like the clutter was shouting at me. And honestly, most days I just want to turn off the light and walk away. But something shifted yesterday. Do you remember day one? We made a choice. We released 28 items that were weighing down my spirit. And because of that simple act, I woke up this morning, walked into this messy kitchen, and for the first time in years, I actually smiled. The air feels different. The energy feels
Please,
lighter.
eat more. There's plenty.
That is the magic of Oosouji. The Japanese teach us that once you start the process of letting go, every room in your house starts calling out to you to be healed. So today, we are going to answer that call. But listen to me closely. We are not going to scrub until our hands are raw. We are not going to break our backs. Instead, we are giving this kitchen the gentle, restorative Japanese treatment it deserves. Think of today's clean not as a chore, but as a warm hug to your body and soul. No harsh chemicals that choke you, just warm water, ancient wisdom, and a fresh start for 2025. Are you ready to finally lift that weight off your shoulders? Let's begin. If you were with me yesterday for day one, you know exactly what we accomplished. We didn't just fill a trash bag, we liberated ourselves. Think back to those 28 items we finally let go of. Do you remember specifically? Maybe for you, it was those stacks of magazines from 2015 that were gathering dust in the corner. For me, it was that chipped vase I held on to for 10 years out of pure guilt. When I finally walked that box out the door, I felt something physical happen. My shoulders dropped 2 inches. My chest felt open. And here's the lesson I want you to carry with you. Clutter is never just stuff. Clutter is stagnant energy. It is decisions we have delayed. And the moment you clear just one corner, you prove to your brain that change is possible. That feeling, that spark of hope, it didn't stay in the living room. It followed me right here into the kitchen this morning when I walked in here to make my tea. The grease on the stove didn't look like an enemy anymore. It looked like the next step in our healing journey. Because if we can reclaim the living room, we can certainly reclaim the heart of our home. But why the kitchen? Why is this specific room so critical for our peace of mind? Especially now that we are in our 50s. The answer might actually surprise you. You know, growing up here in the States, I always thought cleaning the kitchen was just about hygiene. We scrub the counters because guests are coming or because we don't want ants. It was always about how it looked. But as I started studying the Japanese concept of Oosouji, my entire perspective shifted. In Japanese culture, the kitchen is not just a workstation. It is the sanctuary of the Hino Kami, the god of fire. They believe that the kitchen is the source of life, the place where we create the energy that fuels our loved ones. And the wisdom is simple but profound. If the source of nourishment is cluttered, the family's energy becomes cluttered. That is why in Japan, the end of year clean is a chore. It is a ritual. They deep clean the kitchen to literally sweep away the bad luck, the arguments, and the illness of the old year, so they don't carry that heavy baggage into the new one. And friends, this isn't just ancient folklore. It is becoming the biggest wellness trend for 2025. Just last week, I was reading the December issue of Homes and Gardens, and they were talking about how cluttercore is out and mindful spaces are in. Even Vogue's January 2025 forecast mentions that a calm kitchen is the new ultimate luxury. But here's a statistic that really stopped me in my tracks. A recent Japanese wellness study from 2024 found that people who maintain a deep cleaned, Minimalist Kitchen reported a 35% reduction in daily anxiety. 35%. Think about that. It turns out that pile of dishes and that sticky range hood are quietly spiking our cortisol levels every time we walk by to get a glass of water. So, when we clean today, we aren't just removing grease. We are lowering our blood pressure. We are protecting our peace. But here is the thing. While stress is invisible, there is something else hiding in that grease that is very real. And for women our age, actually quite dangerous to our physical health. It's something I ignored for years, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. So, let's get real for a minute. While the spiritual energy of the kitchen is important, there's a physical reality that we need to talk about. For years, I looked at that sticky film on top of my cabinets and thought, it's just ugly. I'll get to it someday. But here's what I didn't realize until I read the 2024 ARP report on healthy aging. Old grease isn't just sticky, it is alive. Science tells us that when cooking oil sits for years, it oxidizes and becomes a perfect sticky trap for dust and moisture. This mixture eventually turns into a breeding ground for invisible mold spores. I'll give you a personal example. For the last 2 years, I would wake up with a little dry cough every morning while making my coffee. I blamed the seasons. I blamed my age. But friends, it wasn't the weather. It turns out I was breathing in the microscopic byproducts of a greasy range hood that I hadn't deep cleaned since 2018. Once I cleared that grease, the cough vanished in 3 days. We are protecting our lungs, not just our tiles. But the danger isn't just in the air. It is right here in the clutter. Look at this counter. When our countertops are full, we start shoving things into high cabinets or way back into deep corners. And what happens when we need that holiday platter? We grab a shaker chair. We stand on our tiptoes. We stretch just a little too far. The statistics are honestly heartbreaking. Falls in the kitchen increase by 40% for seniors when clutter forces us to overreach or navigate tight spaces. I had asked myself a hard question. Is keeping this stack of old Tupperware really worth risking a hip fracture? The answer is no. So, the lesson for us today is this. A clean kitchen after 50 isn't about vanity. It is about vitality. It is about ensuring that we can cook safely, breathe deeply, and stay independent in our own homes for the next 20 years. Now, I know you're ready to grab the bleach and start scrubbing, but wait, please don't do what I used to do. In my rush to get clean, I made 3 massive mistakes that actually hurt my health more than the dirt did. And I want to save you from that pain right now. Now, before we pick up a single cloth, I need to confess something. For most of my life, I cleaned my kitchen the hard way. I thought that if I wasn't sweating, if my hands didn't smell like chemicals, then I wasn't really cleaning. I made 3 massive mistakes in my 50s, and I have a feeling you might recognize a few of them. Mistake number 1 was choosing the nuclear option. I used to attack my stove with strong chlorine bleach and heavy-duty degreasers. I thought, the stronger the smell, the cleaner the house, right? Wrong. I would finish cleaning, and my hands would be so dry they felt like sandpaper. My eyes would water from the fumes. I was literally poisoning my own sanctuary in the name of hygiene. It took me years to realize that you don't need to wage war on your kitchen to clean it. Mistake number 2, the surface shine trap. I was the queen of wiping down the cabinet doors, so they looked perfect for guests. But inside, that was my secret shame. I was terrified to look in the back of my pantry. True story. During my first Oosouji deep clean, I found a jar of spices that expired in 2012. 2012. It had been sitting there, taking up space and gathering dust for over a decade. I realized I was storing trash like it was treasure. But the third mistake was the one that hurt the most. Marathon cleaning. I would wake up on a Saturday and say, I am going to do it all today. I would stand on my feet for 5 hours straight without a break. And guess what happened? By Sunday morning, my lower back was screaming. My knees were swollen. I would be so exhausted that I wouldn't clean anything else for a month. And that is where the Japanese philosophy changed my life. It taught me that fast and furious leads to burnout, but slow, gentle, and mindful actually finishes a race. So today, we are doing things differently. We are breaking all those old bad habits. We are going to use a method that protects your skin, respects your energy, and actually gets the job done without the crash and burn. There are 5 gentle rules we will follow today. And rule number 1 is my absolute favorite. So, how do we clean deep without the deep pain? We follow 5 gentle Japanese rules. Think of these as our safety protocols for the day. Rule number 1, clear before you clean. Before we wipe a single surface, we spend just 10 minutes decluttering. Why? Because trying to deep clean a counter covered in gadgets is like trying to mop the floor while wearing muddy shoes. We remove the obstacles first so the energy can flow. Rule number 2 is my personal lifesaver. Work top to bottom and sit down. Gravity is our friend. We clean the high cabinets first so any dust falls down. We don't want to clean the counter twice. But here is the most important part. Bring a chair into the kitchen. In the West, we think sitting implies laziness. The Japanese approach teaches us that sitting preserves stamina. So for the lower cabinets today, I want you to pull up a chair. Save your knees. We have nothing to prove. Rule number 3, oxygen over chlorine. We are swapping the harsh fumes for oxygen bleach. In Japan, they call this oxyzuke, oxysoap. It is gentle on the lungs, safe for skin, but absolute magic on organic grease. No holding your breath while you scrub. Rule number 4, warm water only. This is specifically for us. Cold water makes our joints stiff and achy. Today, we treat our hands like expensive instruments. We use only warm water to keep our circulation flowing and our joints loose. And finally, rule number 5, the gratitude pause. This is the heart of Oosouji. Before we touch the stove, we pause for 1 second to say thank you. We thank the stove for cooking thousands of meals. We thank the sink for holding our dishes. When you clean with gratitude instead of frustration, the dirt seems to yield faster. It sounds mystical, but I promise you it works. So, we have our warm water, our gentle tools, and our chair. Let's put this into action. I want to show you exactly how I tackle the greasiest part of the kitchen, the cabinets, without scrubbing hard at all. Watch this. Alright, let's begin with the cabinets. And remember rule number 2? I am pulling up my chair. Part 1, the cabinets and the warm soap. I'm starting with a bowl of warm water and 2 tablespoons of oxygen bleach powder. Dip your soft cloth in, wring it out and watch this. Visual, wiping a cabinet door slowly. The dirt comes off instantly, see? I'm not scrubbing, I'm just wiping. The warmth of the water melts the old oil immediately. And while I'm here, sitting comfortably, I'm checking the dates on these spices. Here is one from 2018. Into the bin it goes. Every expired item leaving this house is space created for something new. It feels therapeutic, doesn't it? Part 2, the stove, the face mask technique. Now, let's move to the boss level, the stovetop and range hood. Usually, this is where we hurt our shoulders scrubbing, but not today. We're going to use the Japanese oxyzuke method. Think of it like a face mask for your kitchen. I apply a paste of oxygen bleach and water, and here is the secret weapon, plastic wrap. Visual, covering the soapy stove with plastic wrap. We cover the paste with wrap and just walk away. Go have some tea. Let the chemistry do the heavy lifting for 20 minutes. Cut to 20 minutes later. Look at this. I peel back the plastic, and the burnt-on grease just lifts off with a gentle swipe of a melamine sponge. No sweat, no back pain, just science. Part 3. The sink, grandmother's wisdom. While the stove was soaking, I gave the sink some love. And for this, I'm using a trick my grandmother taught me, which turns out to be a Japanese favorite too. Old newspaper. After a quick wash, instead of a paper towel, I use a ball of dry newspaper to polish the stainless steel. The ink acts as a mild abrasive that makes it shine like a mirror without a single streak. Visual. The sink gleaming under the light. Look at that sparkle. It looks brand new. Part 4. The monk's finish. And finally, the last step. The kitchen is clean, but we want it to feel sacred. I take a fresh damp cloth with just 2 drops of yuzu or lemon essential oil, and I do one final wipe of the countertops. This isn't just about smell. It's about signaling to your brain that the work is done. It is sealing the clean energy into the room. We have spent maybe 40 minutes, mostly sitting or waiting, and look around you. Now, take a deep breath with me. Look at this. I haven't seen the stove shine like this since, well, maybe since 2010. And look at that sink. It's not just clean. It's reflecting the afternoon sun. The chaos is gone. The noise is gone. There is just silence. But honestly, the shiny metal isn't what shocked me the most. Here is what really took my breath away. While I was clearing out the back of the pantry, sitting on my chair, taking my time, I found a jar of spices. It was hidden way in the back. I looked at the expiry date, and it was from the year of my daughter's wedding. For a second, I just held it. I realized I had been holding on to this stagnant energy for over a decade. I was subconsciously holding on to the past, afraid to let the kitchen change. But the moment I tossed that jar into the bin, I physically felt 20 pounds lighter. It was a shock to realize that the heaviness I felt every morning wasn't just age. It wasn't just my hips. It was the weight of yesterday sitting on my shelves. And seeing this room now, stripped of the past, ready for the future. I don't just see a clean kitchen. I see space. Space for new recipes. Space for new memories. Space for me. Now, before you go and enjoy your sparkling clean kitchen, I have a promise to make for tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 3, and we are going to tackle the beast that scares most of us, the fridge and the pantry. I know, it sounds overwhelming. We are afraid of the waste. We are afraid of the guilt. But I promise you, we are going to do it the Japanese way. No rushing. No judgment. Just crystal clear shells and absolute peace of mind for 2026. You will see how clearing out old food actually feeds your soul. You do not want to miss the expiry date trick I'm going to show you. It is a game changer. So, here's my invitation to you. If you're over 50 and this video spoke to your heart today, if you felt that sense of relief we talked about, please consider subscribing or saving this series. Don't let this feeling fade away. Come back tomorrow. Let's do this together. I am right here with you, reclaiming our homes, one gentle day at a time. Thank you for letting me into your kitchen today. Go make yourself a fresh cup of tea. You earned it. I'll see you in day 3.
O やすみなさい。